Traders, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a very quick rundown on AMC going into the last week of October. I'm going to tell you exactly what I see happening with the stock, the price action that I see coming this week specifically. Do I see more volume flowing in, and where do I see the stock going? I also do have options on AMC open right now. I am expecting a little bit of a push back to 40 in the short term. I do believe a bottom is in for the year. So yeah, I'm overall pretty excited with the stock. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Let's get to it.
I got no drip in my pocket. Must have forgot it, or maybe I.
All right, so jumping right in. First, we usually start off with AMC. We're going to go over to IWM. Now, I know I've gone over this before, but for the people that weren't here watching that video, I do want to cover some of my thesis behind this as well. This is the IWM, the Russell 2000, represents most of the small caps. This would fall under AMC's category as well. Looking at the channel the IWM is traded in over essentially the past year, you could say 10 months. We'll say 10 months, so roughly a year. You've been between the 229 marker and about the 210 marker, bouncing up and down, up and down. Now, if you look at this overall trend, you've seen some scaling to the upside and then you dip. I believe you're seeing the most bullish reaction of this level that you've seen over the course of the year, slowly making higher lows. Every time you come up, yeah, you've been rejected, but you're making that higher low continuously, and now you're making another higher low within that one higher low. So that is very strong. Now, I was very gracious to say when we said this the first time that I did expect a dip from those levels. You came up, you dipped down, and you're pushing back up right now. Now, going into the end of the year, I'm very bullish on just the small caps as a whole, and this leads back over to AMC. And if you really go over the trend of the IWM, when you really started to see this big breakout was at the end of January when AMC and GameStop went crazy. Yeah, they dipped back down, but ultimately, that's when you started to see this massive breakout back to the upside. And the last time we saw some type of channel like this, I'm sorry, you can see all the madness here, but if you really look back at this, this is the last time you saw any sort of consolidation of the sorts that you're seeing right now. So just taking a very, very quick look, you can just see, even though this was like about a 6-7 month period of time, very short, you broke above, and once you broke above, you never looked back and had a huge, massive breakout. So in my opinion, if you start breaking out here, this could be a big indicator that AMC could start really pushing very fast. Looking at all the indexes as a whole, you were seeing a bit of a pullback on the Nasdaq, the Dow even. Everything was pushing back as we went over with VIX. But the one thing that stayed relatively strong over the course of the whole day was the IWM. You had a dip, but it really held those levels. So going over to AMC, what do I see us doing? What does this really mean for AMC? Things like that. Now, this is probably where it's going to get the most interesting for people. And if you're interested in AMC short term, this is definitely what I'm looking at. Now, when I'm talking about short term, I'm not talking about stock. I am solely talking about options. I'm not trading stock on AMC for a short-term trade. That's just stupidity in my mind. If you're looking at options to make more money or to just overall de-risk from your shares because you can make more money on top of that, this is what I'm looking at. Now, you saw me buy some options at this level here, and very rarely were you breaking through that key support. You ended up gapping down. Now, the highlight is you came back down to the next level of support, and you bounced once, you came back, and I liked that double bottom, and that's where I started loading up on my options going into this week. I do think AMC will get somewhat of a bounce. What I'm looking for in the extremely short term just this week is going to be a push back to 39.5. Now, obviously, none of this is guaranteed, and I'm not going to give you an exact date because you'll all come at me if I'm at all wrong. So I don't want to, tell anyone that anything is extremely bullish, but I think AMC definitely is in the territory of extremely bullish right now. You've also seen on the OBV, which is something we've been monitoring for months and has been the ultimate indicator in my mind for all of the breakouts. You have not been able to break out of this top level here, about the 4.7. You keep it's like the fifth tap right here. But the one thing you can really see is that you are making those higher lows as well. So unless volume starts to dump off a cliff, and this would represent people actually selling the stock, which I don't believe is happening, you're seeing a lot of manipulation across the board. So this is all still very good. The fact that you're maintaining these high levels, even with where you're at, even with some of these huge nasty dips, this is extremely bullish in the long term as well. And once you start getting above and holding above this range, that's when I believe it is go time, and you'll start to really see some crazy movement. But looking here, my opinion, this was one of the easier buys on AMC. I do think you'll probably open up and push towards 37.5 very quickly. Most likely you'll hit 37.5 tomorrow. That would be my guess, just looking at the action on the stock right now. I don't suspect a huge nasty dip whatsoever. I'm feeling extremely bullish. Going into tomorrow, I see 37.5. By the end of the week, I would love to see 39.5 retested. I think that's a very large possibility, and I think that's pretty gracious. I think you could really test higher than that, but looking right now, that's going to be the short-term goal, 39.5. Specifically with these options, I have $40 strikes. That's what I'm looking at right now. Looking at AMC, I do think you are going to be done with this dip for the next few days. I don't think you're going to see a nasty dip below that 36 region. You saw extremely strong support. You saw a double bottom. These were all buying indicators for myself on the short-term options route. And a side note, leading away from AMC going to this week, I do believe crypto will be a big focal point of the market. You're seeing a lot of stuff with that, and I'm going to make a crypto video shortly after this one, so you can tune in to watch that one as well. More AMC videos coming, more stock videos every single day. We're back on it, boys. And if you're in the options, you just need to know one thing, boys. We run the market.
Don't got enough to go cop it. I'm about to take off like a rocket. Houston, we might